everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Can you guess what I'm up to today? Well, let me share with you. I'm about to prepare some Rotel cream cheese sausage balls. Okay? So I'm about to prepare some Rotel cream cheese sausage balls. So I'm going to double my recipe today. The actual recipe calls for 1 pound of ground sausage. Of course, I have 2 pounds. And it calls for 1 can of Rotel dip. I have 2. And Rotel, and I have the no salt added. And for this one, you need to drain the liquid off because you just want the diced tomatoes and the green chilies. Alright? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open my ground sausage. And I have washed my hands. And I'm going to transfer it to the bowl. So to the bowl, you're to add the ground sausage, the drained Rotel, and the cream cheese that you have allowed to come to room temperature. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open the cream cheese and transfer it to the bowl, and I'm going to then open the Rotel, diced tomatoes and green chilies, and I'm going to drain those. All right. So bear with me here. Yes, and you do have to allow your cream cheese, and this is an 8-ounce cream cheese. Of course, I'm doubling my recipe, so I need to use 2, but it's 1 if you only want to make half of it. You just use 1. All right. And I left this out for about an hour. So I have my cream cheese in, I have my sausages in. Let me just put this in the trash right quick. Right. So the next thing I need to do is open the Rotel, drain it, and then add it to my bowl as well. And again, as I said, I have the one that says no salt added. Right. So I'm gonna place you on a brief pause while I open these, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, everyone, I have opened the cans and I have drained them. And I'm just going to mix the Rotel, the cream cheese, and the ground sausage until it's combined. I just used my mesh colander to drain my Rotel. Now, if you want to use the habanero Rotel, you can do so. I chose the original with no salt. If you would like to use the one that's for chili, you can use that one as well. It's just whichever you prefer. Right? If you would like to use ground turkey, ground beef, ground chuck, ground chicken, if you have ground venison, ground moose, whatever meat you have that's ground, you can use that. It'll work. So I have everything mixed well. I took the cream cheese out, and I left it out a little longer than I usually would because I want it to be really, really soft when I incorporated it in, so it wouldn't take so long to get everything mixed. And also, if you would like to mix this in your blender, you can do so, whatever you prefer. All right. So now that I have all of this well mixed and everything incorporated together, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the Bisquick, and this is just your Bisquick pancake and bacon mix. For 1 pound of ground beef, you would use 2 cups. I use 2 pounds because I'm doubling my my size, remember. So for this one, I have to use 4 cups. Let's see. So I wanted to get my larger measuring cup. Right. So again, you're going to use 4 cups, and this one holds 4 cups because I'm doing 2 pounds. Right. Right. So that's 4 cups of my Bisquick bacon mix. And again, if you use 1 pound of meat, that's 1 can of Rotel and 2 cups of the Bisquick bacon mix. Right? So I'm going to mix this together. Just mix my Bisquick in with it. And I'm not going to fold it all in. I'm just going to get a pretty good mix on it. And then I'm going to add my seasoning. And I'm going to add my cheese. All right. All right. The next thing I want to add, for 1 pound of ground sausage or whatever ground meat you use, you have to use 2 cups of shredded mild cheddar. If you want to use sharp cheddar, provolone, Swiss, mozzarella, Kobe Jack, whatever cheese, or the taco if you want to use the taco mix, whichever cheese you like to use, that's fine. Right. I'm opting to use the mild cheddar, shredded. If you want to use the finely shredded, you can use that as well. And since I have 2 pounds, I need to add 4 cups of shredded cheese. Remember, 2 cups for 1 pound. So half of everything if you're going to just use 1 pound of the sausage or whatever ground meat you have. Right. So then I will add my cheese. Next, I'm going to add my seasoning. Original recipe just simply calls for a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm doubling mine, so I need to use a teaspoon of garlic powder. Also, a ½ teaspoon of onion powder for 1 pound. I'm using a teaspoon because I have 2 pounds. And this is my onion powder. Right. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of white pepper. And I want to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. If you don't like a lot of pepper, you can scale it down to like 1/4 of a teaspoon. And also, this is my favorite garlic and herb seasoning. I'm going to also add a teaspoon of it. Remember, if you're doing 1 pound, you just use a ½ teaspoon of each of your seasoning. All right, so now I have everything mixed in the bowl or added to the bowl. I'm just going to mix it up really, really good and get everything incorporated together. And then I'm going to roll these out into balls. And the size of the ball, usually about a ½ inch to inch in diameter. It depends on how many people you're serving or how large you actually would prefer for yours to be. If you want them to be the size of meatballs, then you do that. If you want them smaller, you can do that as well. There's no particular size. It's whatever you prefer. You can use an ice cream scoop to scoop it out. You can use a cookie scoop. You can use just a regular tablespoon. You can roll them out with your hand. Whatever you prefer and whatever you're comfortable with in your kitchen, then that's what you do. Okay? All right. And you want it to be stiff, and because you want the balls to stay together. Once you have everything incorporated together in your mixing bowl, you want when you roll your balls out, you want them to be able to look like balls and stay intact as a ball. You don't want them to fall apart. Okay? All right. All right, I have all my cheese mixed in. I have my biscuit mixed in. I have the sausage mixed in. I think I have a pretty good mix on my seasoning, like evenly distributing it through my ingredients as they become incorporated together. So now I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes. I'm just going to let it rest for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to pick you back up and we're going to roll these out. I'm going to show you how I'm going to roll them out on the wax paper. Now you have an option. You can grease your baking pan and place them directly on the baking pan, or you can use a piece of parchment paper and you just place it on your cookie sheet or your baking pan, whatever you use to bake in, and then you can scoop it out and prepare the balls as the size that you would like for them to be. All right? So I'm going to place you on a pause while this rests for 5 minutes, and I'll pick you back up. Okay, guys, this is what it looks like. All right. So now I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to just scoop it out, and I'm going to roll it, and you roll them about 1 inch in diameter, but again, it's a preference. It's how big you want them or how small you want them, okay? So you just scoop it out and you roll your balls and you place them on your baking sheet, and then we're going to bake these in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. For roughly about, I'll say about 20 to 25 minutes. And again, the time, that was a little too big. The time depends on your oven. As we know, the temperature on ovens vary, okay? So roughly about 20 to 25 minutes is the bake time. And again, you can roll these as large as you like or as small as you like. It's up to you. And place them about 1 inch apart on your baking sheet. It's about the same as if you would bake meatballs, if you were rolling out your own meatballs. Of course, I know I'm going to have more than 1 sheet of these, but for now, I'm just going to use this one baking pan. And see, I'm somewhat of a perfectionist. I try to get them all about the same size, roughly, roundabout. But we know nobody's perfect, so hey, you just do the best you can. And again, you just want to make sure that they stay together when you roll them out in a ball. You don't want it to like fall apart. Of course, the bacon mix, when it mixes with the Rotel that you've drained, because the tomatoes are still kind of moist, but I drained most of the, well, all of the liquid that was in the can off of them. And I kind of took a spatula and pressed down on them to get the remaining or the excess water out of them. But they're still a little damp, which is fine, because when you mix the biscuit with it, it kind of helps it to stay together and conform. Oh, it doesn't take much on these. This is a quick little meal you can do. You can prep ahead of time if you like. This is something you can easily serve like for breakfast if you're on the go, or if you want your children to have something before they leave home in the morning, just to make sure that they they're nourished before they go to school or go to the gym or just, you know, outside or out with friends. This is something that you can prep the night before and have it ready, and it's like really just on the go, just grab and go. And it's also something if you're working and you want it, something quick in the mornings that you can just grab and go. And this is a perfect little meal. And again, if you are lactose intolerant, of course, you don't want to use the cheese. Yes, it's okay if you omit the cheese. That's perfectly fine. And as well as the cream cheese. And if someone out there wants to use something, any of the others, that's fine. You can use a plant-based, that's fine. You don't have to use this meat. You can use a plant-based meat. I've used it before, it works fine. It's just all in knowing how to substitute and what you need to substitute with. All right. So this baking sheet is filled to capacity, and it is ready to be placed in the oven. My oven is already preheated. Only because I've been baking, and I baked a couple of cakes, and I baked some mini banana nut bread loaves. So I've been doing quite a lot today. So the oven is ready to go. And this baking sheet holds 24. Okay. Let me rinse this off my hands. I've tried doing this with gloves before and it doesn't really work. It's somewhat of a nuisance because the gloves tend to want to slide and everything sticks to it. Okay. Alright guys, this is what it looks like on the baking sheet. Nice little balls. Alright. So I'm going to place these in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Of course, I will check them. And I will place you on a brief pause, and I'll pick you back up when it's time to take them out of the oven. Okay, everyone, it's time to take the first set out of the oven. And this is what they look like. And it actually took 25 minutes. All right. And this is the second set. I'm just going to allow these to cool. And I have one more set to go in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide these off of the baking sheet. I'll just let them cool. And then I'm going to place my last piece of wax paper. I'm just going to slide it on. Let's fold it in. And just place it on my baking sheet and then just spread them out again. I have about, roughly about 15 left to bake. Again, about 1.5 inch in diameter is what I separated them. And they're about 1 inch thick. All right. So this is my last set of the Rotel cream cheese balls. Okay, I place these in the oven. Allow them to cook as well. 20 to 25 minutes. And when they're done, I'll pick you back up. Okay, everyone. I have removed the Rotel cream cheese sausage balls from the oven. I've allowed them to cool, and this is what they look like. Of course, I'm storing them in this dish. Okay. All right, so a lot of customers, a lot of my subscribers has asked me to show what the interior of the cakes look like. A lot of those cakes I bake are not for me. Most of them are not for me. They're for customers. Usually if it's one that's for me, I usually will cut it. And I'll show you like a short of it once we cut it. But these are not for me either. This is for graduation tomorrow for the faculty. And I am preparing some dishes for the brunch. And so I'm going to open one of them just so you can see what it looks like inside. Okay, that's what it looks like. It's kind of like a combination of a sausage biscuit, but of course it's the ground sausage that's mixed in with the biscuit. Okay, so that's what it looks like along with the Rotel dip. And I'm going to place these in this tray. And I have about 15 more that's coming out of the oven here shortly. And then I'm going to cover the tray with this foil across the top, like so. Now, I'm going to place these in the refrigerator, and I'm going to let them cool. And then in the morning, probably about 5 a.m., I'm going to remove them from the refrigerator. I'm going to allow them to come to room temperature, but just simply place them on the counter for roughly about 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'm going to place them in the oven at 175, and I'm going to place them in there for roughly about an hour and let them kind of heat up. And then I will transport them along with a couple of other things that I've baked. I actually baked some... I'll show you one. I've actually baked some mini banana nut bread loaves, and I'm going to place these in like plastic bags so that everyone will have their own banana nut bread loaf. I'm also doing a cinnamon and raisin mini loaf. And I'm going to place it in a bag as well, so you have an option as to which you prefer, along with the sausage balls. And then I also am going to prepare here within the next hour some energy bars. One will be oatmeal and raisin, and the other one is going to be like a carrot cake, but it's going to be a ball. And these are like energy balls. Right? So, and last but not least, I've been kind of busy today. I've actually baked a sour cream pound cake, which I've already baked one of these on the website or on YouTube, and I posted it and shared it. But this is one I'm baking for them. This is per request. And I also have one other cake that I'm going to bake before 9:30 in the morning. All right. So, I'd like to take this opportunity and thank you for joining me on today's Bake Cook. I didn't really share the bakes because I've already baked the banana nut bread and the pound cake. The cream cheese, the Rotel cream cheese sausage balls were new. I have a couple of energy bars. They'll be new, and I'm going to share those when I prepare those shortly. But thank you for joining me. If you have not clicked the thumbs up, please do so. That just says that you like the videos, and it just pushes it out into an algorithm so that others can see what you view. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you have subscribed, thank you so very much. I really appreciate you. I do respond to all the comments as fast as I can. And as I said, a lot of you asked about the pink marble bundt cake. I did take a picture of that and I shared it on the community page. So I try to post things in different areas so you can kind of see it instead of always doing a short or doing a video, okay? So thanks again for joining me. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you guys. And I'm going to let you go, and I will see you on the next prep. Because it won't be a bake. I'm going to actually prep these, and they have to actually chill. So I will see you on the next prep. Thanks again.